On this episode of Retroformance, we're going to be modifying the Rambler shock towers, hooking up the new steering rack, modifying the 4-link rear mounting points, and building custom engine mounts. Let's get into it. The goal in here is to try to clean this up nicer than it is right now that we got this all boxed in. Once we cut it open, we're gonna have to kind of see how we're gonna blend it and weld some pieces in because there's a double panel back here. So I'm gonna plasma it out and grind it smooth and then see what we gotta do. I'm using a plasma cutter here to freehand these contoured cuts. This is probably the easiest way to do it, as long as you can get an angle grinder in there after and clean up the cuts because they're not perfect. New plan. We agreed that this angle, though it works and it's good, we think it'd be a little bit easier if we cut it higher and made a flatter plate. That way we have more room in the engine compartment, and then that new flat plate would come down a little closer to this, so we're gonna keep cutting. The goal of this modification is just to make the old suspension towers look more OEM in there. Now that we don't need those strengthening ribs, they can be kind of blended in so that it just looks like normal sheet metal inside the engine bay. To make these templates, I'm using template paper. I always prefer this over cardboard. Cardboard a lot of times is multi-ply, and that just becomes a pain in the butt when you're trying to match up seams. Once I have the piece where I want it, I tack it into place, and then I'm gonna make another one. Pretty happy with how this turned out. It looks good, kind of tucked away and flush here. This kind of came out nice, so unfortunately, gotta do it all again. Castor oil in the beer? Yeah. That's good.
Hey, look who it is.
Yeah, it's DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
What a movie. What a movie.
Cutting out some other brackets and putting in a updated or a new ladder 4-link mounts. Boom, yeah.
Boom.
Yep, so we get the right pinion angle and the right bar geometry because the car is now lower than it was initially anticipated.
As my dad's working on the back of the car, getting those 4-link suspension mounting points kind of beefed up and made to the specifications that we need, I'm working on the front and trying to get the steering rack and steering column matched up. First, I'm getting the bearing mounted on the firewall so that the steering shaft can slide through in our new location. I think it's gonna be money.
Okay, I'm just gonna do an inch on the end because I can't redo it because I
Well-
won't be able to re-index it.
You got to remember that the most important thing is that you listen to the guy with the bushy mustache. The foreman. If I learned anything from Italy, is that the guys with the mustaches run the joint. All right. Now that the shop hierarchy has been established, we can modify the steering shaft to accept the new U-joints. Proud of this. Nice. Steering hooked up. Give me a steer. Ooh, beauty. That's exciting. Nice rack. Nice rack. Rack City. Rack City. Yeah, Josh, you missed it. We had a gold movie.
What movie was it?
The Van Life or something?
Ooh.
No, The Van.
Oh, the van.
Oh, man.
What kind? We got a GMC kind of
Oh,
like
I don't
A-Team
even know.
style?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Front suspension and steering are buttoned up. So now we're gonna look at the back and get the gussets and rear crossmember setup styled.
When it came in.
Already today?
Already,
Already? The beer is almost
yeah.
happened.
Already. It's almost beer 30. It's not even.
I don't even know what time it is.
Not
I don't even know. 2:51.
Yeah, it's close.
That work? I don't think it'll fall off.
No.
A lot of goosette going on there, a lot of beef.
Here's the beef.
We got the back section all finished up now. Looks really good. So with the rear end at the right angle, we're gonna cut the tunnel out now to clear for the drive shaft so that we can finally cut out the cross member here and get that all set up to make the motor mounts. With the center tunnel cut out and the rear end at the proper height, we can now get the engine and transmission back in with clearance so that we can start prototyping some engine mounts. We're starting off the day with getting the engine and transmission back into the proper location right on center line so that we can start taking a look at engine mounts and the rear cross member for the transmission. Smokey bites the dust. Dude, he's shooting his own kid, or is that his
This is 2 1/4.
son-in-law in the future?
We got about a quarter. I wanted a nice radius, but it's cold roll and it's gonna crack. So we're gonna make individual pieces.
Individual pieces.
Individual pieces. More welding practice.
To the saw.
To the saw. Good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, good enough.
Sweet.
Good enough for Rambler.
We got a nice track burned in between these two. And they're even?
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
There's a chance we might be able to make that work. Alright, so this is what
The engine mounting setup that we're going to use is a 2-plate system. It's fairly simple. One plate is attached to the cross member, one plate is attached to the engine, and those will sit on top of each other with an insulated rubber bracket. How does it look?
it's almost good. We can just grind the top of that a little bit. You know what I mean?
One of those like permanent ones?
Cut it 4 that way. And how wide you want it the same width as this?
Yeah, which is a little narrower.
3.5. I cut a 1/2 inch off it.
Once we get the fitment of the bottom plate, then what we need to do is make a top plate to match. Yeah.
Clamp.
Clamp, transfer the hole.
I need a little small clamp.
Clamp action. Once we have the location of the 2 plates intersecting and we have that center drill through both plates, we turn to Matt to bore that hole on the prototrack and also just give him a hard time. Complicated.
No, you can.
Had to bring in the nerd.
No, it doesn't take. It takes one person. It can't take 2 people because then you just argue back and forth about what we want to do.
Fine, we brought in reinforcements for the prototrack.
We did. Look at the back.
Guys, this is the machine guy.
Mine just says greaseman.
Yeah.
That'll get it done. You never know around here whether it's gonna handle it or not.
Oh,
We got
all
a-
that. I can't get the camera in there.
Oh.
Too tight. That's what she said.
Oh, go bigger.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, another pass.
They're freaking. It doesn't take 3 guys to do this because honestly, I'm not contributing whatsoever on this part. I'm just here to capture the moment, you know.
Well, I mean, Dad could have just done it, but
Yeah.
you can't let me see it because then I gotta come in here and
Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
This is it. Getting it done.
Well, I mean,
Does it
I
go
wish
in?
you would have asked us.
All right. Does it go in?
If he gave it.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a loose.
Day 2 on these engine mounts. We're gonna clamp them where they need to be, tack weld them, then they can come out, get fully welded and gusseted for strength.
C2.
Okay, you can cut the other ones. See how it bent it on a little bit of an angle. So we may have to do a little cutting and grinding there, but it should be alright.
Looks sweet.
Think it's tall enough? Yeah, it should be tall. We'll clean it up, it'll work, right?
These front gussets didn't really need to be bent at a 90 degrees so that they look that nice. It just, when we're making something for the car, we want it to like look the best while we're already in there making this stuff. So, you know, as the saying goes, you can't go fast if you don't look good. The last step to these engine mounts are the ability to remove them. We're adding bolt flanges to them so that they can be bolted in and then removed if we ever need to remove the engine, because it's so tight in there that we actually don't think we're gonna be able to get the engine out once the mounts are in. And there they are. The engine's bolted in with these mounts. We're actually really stoked how they came out. They look beefy. They look like jewelry in there. They just clear everything we needed to, like the steering shaft. We're just so happy with the progress that we've made over the last month on this car. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on, because when we drop that next episode where we deal with the driveline cross members and rear subframe, you're not gonna wanna miss it. Stay tuned and take it easy, guys.
Good pup though.